Hi, and welcome back to Midwest Running. I just wanted to touch base regarding a first run in the ASICS Superblast 3. I am coming from Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm at for the week here. Happened to get a pair of them while I've been out here, and so here they are. They're the kind of that corally peach kind of color to them. Things to note: one, I don't have like a scale with me or anything like that, so I can't give you any real weights. It feels about the same as Super Blast 2. It is a little bit lighter, definitely noticeably lighter, in that it is a different size than my Super Blast 2 at home. Um, I was, I've been following along. I've kind of commented in the past about how the Super Blast was never really my favorite shoe. You know, I always wanted to give it a chance and, you know, enjoy it. And there were times when I enjoyed it, but one of the challenges I kept having with it was just a lot of like pressure being put like on the kind of the base of my third metatarsal, like just right there. And I could not explain why, I could not figure out why. Um, so one of the things I did with this shoe was really just spent a little bit of time in really just trying it out at the shop here and just running around in it, kind of jogging around in it, like on the treadmill and stuff, and see what it was. I think it's hard to make a side by side comparison just given the fact that we are looking at a different shoe design, but at the same time, one of the things I think it was that the other shoe was just probably like about a half size too big for me. So I went down by a half size from my previous pairs, and so far from my one run I did, really is feeling a lot better. Big things to note, obviously, if you've been following along with what they've been doing here, um, some changes in the foam here. Specifically, this top layer is now the FF Leap foam, which is their race day product. The same shoe you're going to find on the either the top or bottom layer of the Metaspeed Edge and Sky, depending on which model, or the entire midsole of the Metaspeed Ray. Then the bottom centimeter or so is the FF Blast Plus, which is what they used in previous years. It just kind of helps give it a little bit of stabilization so it's not completely wobbly and out of control. I will say that the FF Leap feels very, very, very much the same as what it is on the race day shoes. So you're getting a lot of that kind of compression, decompression. It's very quick. It's very soft. Just feels great underfoot, to be honest. When you look at the outsole here, you can see it follows the same kind of formula as the previous model, where you have the kind of that trampoline that's very, very much like a blast formula that they've been doing, where you have kind of like that center diamond shaped area that's kind of like a trampoline pod. Um, Big difference here actually is that they continue that same kind of profiling underneath the foot here as well. So you actually have a similar kind of carve out on the FF Leap on the inside of the shoe. Now, I did not notice any like specifically any kind of pressure or pain or anything like that from there. That is an area I'm a little bit concerned about because when I was trying to figure out what my problems were with I had issues with the Nova Blast 4, with the Super Blast 1 and 2, and it all stemmed from just the angle at which this all kind of came together. And with the previous foam, I thought, it's very possible that it was just putting a little bit too much of a pressure point. When the Nova Blast 5 came out, that angle that it kind of comes to its top point here actually was not as acute of an angle, and because of that, I felt like I was getting a little bit better relief of that pressure, and like I wasn't having any of those issues anymore. So that's one area where I think that was improved here. As I said, I don't feel any additional pressure points because of that. What I will say is I do feel just a little bit more of like a give and return on that. And I think that that's one of the nice things that's been added to this shoe, where it's always been a good kind of go out and just cruise kind of shoe. But yesterday, my workout I went out and I did hill repeats. So it was about 400, like a 400-meter hill repeat. Did that 10 times over so I'm in Baltimore here over at Patterson Park. There's like a nice about 5-ish% grade hill over there. So I just repped that 10 times and it just felt good on each one of them. The real limitation I felt was just me. I was kind of just tired from traveling the day before and just kind of how it was. But realistically, I'm really happy with just the shoe's performance. Also, it was really kind of damp, and the sun is out finally for the first time I've been here. But it's been kind of damp and gray and cloudy and misty and rainy. Yesterday I read along kind of the harbor front here, on brick and on wood and everything, and I had zero grip issues. So that ASICS grip, I can't speak highly enough of it. It's been a solid thing. Big thing I will say that is on this shoe that some people have been kind of hearing a little bit of maybe some concern about, but I don't want to bore you. But on the medial side here, you'll see that there is this little increased area right through here of the FF Blast Plus, that kind of that daily trainer kind of foam that they put in there as a base. Now it does go up on that medial side a little bit. You don't feel that as it is. It does, I think, help add a little additional stability to the overall feel of the shoe, but it's not like it's guiding your foot. It's not really making your foot do anything that it wouldn't normally do in the shoe. I think it's just adding just a little bit so it doesn't get away from you. Whereas really nice, I think, is when you're starting to corner with it. It feels just great going around corners. I don't feel any kind of issues in terms of just my overall just comfort in running the shoe. So as it stands right now, I think this shoe is in a really good spot. Definitely something that's going to stay in my rotation. In fact, I may or may not be getting a pair of the blue ones as well pretty soon. I'm really happy with how this felt so far. I think just I'm going to stick with this. I think this is very much a good contender for a high-end shoe of the year here. We have to talk about the cost. The cost is a little bit high, obviously. It's $210. I can't really say that that's a bargain by any means. I think that you are getting, with this as one shoe, something that you could actually pretty much do everything in. You keep hearing that. Half the time I don't believe it when I hear, a lot of the shoe tube community talk about that. But really, I think that this is a shoe that you can get a lot of use out of. You're going to get a lot of miles out of it. That this top layer of foam, this ATPU, is much more durable than PIBA, and the FF Turbo Plus that was in the Superblast 1 and 2 being PIBA foam. I mean, those lasted a long time as it was. This is going to last probably a little bit longer, even just given the fact that it is that aliphatic TPU. The cost of $210 US. That's, again, I can't say that that's cheap because it's not. That is definitely a pricey shoe. I think there are other shoes on the market that do come in with give you a similar experience, maybe at a little bit of a lower price. I'm yet to do anything more than just kind of a quick kind of treadmill, see how it feels, of the Endorphin Azura from Saucony. That one seems to have a very similar feel in terms of just be a good non-plated cruiser of a shoe. I'm trying to think of any others right off the top of my head. Not really, but I really think that those two being what they are, like this shoe and that shoe being actually quite similar, being a nice high-end foam, no plate, but they're $50 difference. That's not an insignificant difference in price. So for some people, I think that the Azura might actually be a really good bargain. This one here, I think, is definitely the more luxurious feeling shoe. It's definitely the nicer upper, which does remind me, this upper for me felt a little bit more snug than the previous ones. Again, it could just be me having changed the size on it, but I'm not going to say it's uncomfortable by any means, but it feels a little bit racier than either 1 or 2 ever did. I thought 1 and 2 felt a little bit looser kind of around the midfoot. But now I'm feeling this is just a really nice locked in, locked down feeling. Let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts. Again, I'm going to give an update. I'm going to do a full review on the shoe once I kind of get back home, once I get a little bit more mileage in it. Again, I'm going to do an easy run in it tonight. In fact, I'm probably just going to keep running in the shoe this entire trip, if I'm being honest with you. I think it's one of the shoes that's going to hold up quite well for a lot of that, and could just really be a quiver killer for a lot of people. Take care, like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and really, I'm just hoping to start making a little bit more content. Kind of fell away from that for a little while here, I know, but the realities of some life stuff just kind of got in the way there for a bit. But I'm looking forward to being back in the saddle here, and see you guys next time.